None of us really know. None of us really know.
I know.
No, I know. Perfect timing, Keith.
Keith, what's up?
Your favorite movie of all time. F9.
Oh, good.
How is there any other choice than Remember the Titans being number one?
I'm curious.
I'm spoiling mine, but
Well, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, that's a good, good
I'm
question,
not even
Brian.
done talking.
you shouldn't be talking at this point.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Apocaflix Now, our movie hangout show here at Apocaflix Movies. It is our weekly show where we break down some of the stuff going on in the movie world. I'm your host tonight, Jacob Bartley, and I am joined by these two fine gentlemen here, Brian Avalosino, Jake Berlin. How you doing, Brian?
Good. I think I can speak for Jake and say that we are very tired.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, you guys had a fun weekend out of town at the Schmodown Spectacular. Is that right?
Thought so. I don't want to talk too much about Spectacular here, but I will say we got to meet Rachel, and she is
The
everything
best.
we expected her to be.
Yeah.
Nice.
For those of you, Rachel, aka Errol Owl, our mod, she is, I mean, just a stand-up woman, just amazing. So thank you so much, Rachel.
That is
Yeah,
awesome. She
she
probably
is-
didn't even get to hear that, but I'm sure you guys told her in person.
Yeah.
Jacob, look at she literally had ornaments made for us.
That is dope. I just put up my Christmas tree yesterday. So
Although I will say, and she's not here, or maybe she's just not in the chat yet, I will say, Rachel, I despise you for putting a snake on it. I despise you.
It's
Ever since
Arizona.
Jake watched Indiana Jones as a little kid, he hates snakes.
Facts.
But yes, we have a web-filled episode for you guys today. I should say.
Okay. Whoa. Hey, now
Yes.
that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
But Jacob, I wanted to ask you how your weekend was.
It was pretty good, man.
Yeah, you had a week off, sir.
I did.
Yeah, we didn't
I
see
had-
you at all last week.
Oh, from this show, I was like, was last week Thanksgiving? Yes. Been working a lot, but it was nice. Honestly, sometimes work is therapeutic, and I'm not talking about my work when I work at elementary school. I have another job that I do.
You're definitely not talking
I
about
have another
your
job
work.
that I do, and sometimes it's kind of therapeutic just to like get in there, get the job done. So I've been working a lot, but that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So yeah.
Well, I
pretty
will
good.
say, I don't know if it's like a bone to pick with you or whatnot, but you drive for your work, and you were in the chat last week, sir.
Yes. So you know what's funny? I was like, I bet you Jake.
You
thinks
got
that
some
I'm-
explaining to do.
Look, you know what's funny? I was thinking, I bet you Jake thinks that I'm texting and driving, but the
Yeah,
thing
bro.
is,
Yeah, bro.
so I deliver food, and there's a lot of stopping and waiting. So I wait at a restaurant, and sometimes I'm waiting for like 15 to 20 minutes. Don't get me started on Old Spaghetti Factory, waiting for an hour sometimes. But no, so there is a lot of like I don't mean stopping while I'm driving. I mean literally getting in my car, waiting on a bench while I'm waiting for food. So that's why. So I like to hop in the chat when I'm not on the episodes. I think it's fun.
See, the thing is he can make any excuse he wants, and we have to believe him because he literally works by himself. There's nobody to back him up.
Very true, very true. But
Also,
yes,
Andy, since Andy's in the chat, I'm addicted to these.
Yeah,
Tim Tams
so
now.
Jacob, Hobbit F. Andy is all the way from down under in Australia.
ooh,
And he
nice.
literally, I not kid you, he brought a suitcase full of Tim Tams.
Jacob, do you even know
Wow.
what Tim Tams are? I'll show
Tim
you.
Tams, a suitcase full of them.
A suitcase full of Tim Tams and a
anything.
bottle of whiskey for me. He brought me a bottle of whiskey. Like,
They are these delicious cookies.
I knew they were like some type of snack or something.
Yes, that Andy, we literally had to like fight the Damons to decide who got to take home what
well,
leftovers.
I don't know.
and-
I don't necessarily know if it was fighting. They were like, "Does anybody want some?" And then people were like, "Yeah." And then they were like, "I don't think they were realizing people were actually going to take them when they offered them to them." That's all.
Wow. So are
I will
those
say
only
that was-
found in Australia?
They're found here, but they're only the best ones are by far in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not made with like high fructose corn syrup and crap in Australia. Like
They're not crappy like Americans.
Yeah. So
that makes
and not
sense.
to mention Molly put some in my bed, and I literally had a crisis. Like, am I that fat that I put them in my bed and I don't even realize I did it? Luckily, she told me that.
Like a whole bag or just like a few?
Yeah, like a whole
cookies
box,
here and there?
like a whole container. And because I rolled over and I heard, I'm like, the hell?
Secretly fell asleep with a whole box.
Yeah, but yes, I only have 4 left, and I am devastated.
Well,
Yeah,
that,
Okay.
Hi,
well, we got that
Rachel.
on the show. Rachel, you can rewind at any point in time if you want to. We gave you some credit up top. You're amazing. Thank you so much.
that's
Move.
awesome. Yeah. Now, next time I got to meet you, Rachel. That sounds like you're an awesome person. So
I think we'll do an Apocaflix meetup. That way she can meet the other fellas because she's I mean
Keith and Gio,
not to brag, but she's been here a little bit longer than POV. So
yeah,
Wait,
for sure.
Longer
for
than
sure.
who?
she's been longer on this channel than POV.
Oh yeah. I thought you said she's been here longer than Jacob, and I was like, wait, what?
No, I think she wasn't she on here before you guys started POV?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah,
100%.
So she's
100%.
a long-time supporter. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, like I said, we have a web-filled episode today. I got to bring that back
God,
again.
he's been waiting to read that.
Of course, we're going to go over the movie watching challenge. We're going to talk a little bit of that Across the Spider-Verse trailer, and we will be talking some very tasty MCU stuff. But with all ado, let's get into the movie watching challenge.
Wait, what did you just say? With all ado? What?
I don't know. I was just thinking about it. I don't know where that came from. But anyways,
You thought no one was gonna catch it.
yeah. That's a new thing. I'm trying to start a new thing. All right. But no, for those of you who don't know, every week one of us is challenged to watch a movie that we have not seen. It's a real fun thing we do here at Apocaflix. It gives us a chance to not only watch movies that we haven't seen, but sometimes force each other to maybe watch movies that we'll never have a chance to get to. Last week, Gio was challenged to Black Hawk Down. Unfortunately, he's not able to make the podcast tonight, so we will put up a separate video of Gio giving his thoughts on Black Hawk Down. And that was your movie, Jake, right? That you chose for him? Correct. Awesome. So we'll get those thoughts from Gio at a later date, so keep an eye out for that. But Gio has challenged the next person and what movie they'll be watching, and I'm guessing Jake is the only one who knows.
I sure do. So I had texted Gio just because
it's one of us, isn't it?
It has to be, right?
It can't be Keith it can't be Keith or I. Which is funny. Like I feel like the last 4 weeks, the people who are on the panel are the only people who can be challenged. I don't know how it's been happening, but it has been. Anyway, I texted him just to make sure and get a movie from him, and he literally responded maybe 30 minutes ago, and I was like, oh, he's probably not going to get it in. Maybe I'll have to sneak one in there for a challenge. But he texted me, and he chose a really, really good pick for one Mr. Jacob Bartley this week.
Nice.
So he's going with Jacob. Jacob's back in the challenge seat this week, and he challenged you to a movie that I am so jealous you're watching for the very, very first time. It is an all-time classic in its genre and even overall. It is led by one Clint Eastwood, and that is Unforgiven.
Nice.
Unforgiven. As you see there, Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman, Clint Eastwood, among many, many others. The legendary Western film that I'm so happy he challenged you to. And Brian probably has no idea what this movie is.
I don't even know. It looks like it could be an old movie, but at the same time, not.
It's 90s. It's 90s.
Okay.
Why do I feel like my last two movies, the last time I got There Will Be Blood, and then this time Unforgiven, I feel like I'm winning a prize.
You're on a roll, dude. Those are two great.
You're on a Western kick right now.
This is 92, right? So the year I was born. There you go. You got a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, yo.
Yeah, when people talk about Clint Eastwood films, this is arguably the one that gets brought up most. I've heard incredible things about it. I just know it's a Western.
Well, he directed it too.
He directed it, and it's an all-time great is what I've heard. So those are the expectations I'm going in with. But I had very high expectations for There Will Be Blood, and it exceeded them. So we'll see. Unforgiven, I'm all in. Thank you, Gio.
Yeah, I'm super jealous you get to watch it the first time. So it's available on HBO Max. Just in case you're about to look that up.
Literally just looking that up right now.
Of course he was.
Okay, last time it was on Netflix. This time HBO Max. Cool. I don't gotta rent any movies yet.
But I'm also just a little jealous, and maybe I'll even go back and watch it this week just to kind of refresh my memory. But you also get to see Gene Hackman again because he retired a long time ago. We don't get to see him anymore, which is a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you have seen this one, Jake, right?
I have, but not for a while, which is why I'm maybe considering giving it a rewatch. I just love the Western genre. I'm such a sucker for it.
No, I like to revisit the movies when we do the challenge, even if I'm not involved, because I just like to have a fresher mind if I haven't seen it in a long time or something. So yeah, Unforgiven. I'm excited and I can't wait to watch it. I'll definitely be ready with my thoughts. Hey, RD Films, if that's your real name. Happy birthday.
He is from somewhere in Europe. I don't know where exactly. But he's one of our newer followers, and he's been here he's been here each and every week for the last like 2 months or something, and he represents, man. He represents.
You know how awesome RD Film is? RD Films, you're awesome because you don't even watch Dexter, and you show up to all my Dexter live streams and just come in and say hi and listen to the whole thing sometimes. So
he's from Scotland. Oh, we got yes. Yeah, he shows up at Whiskey Jedi.
Even better.
Also, so does Starju. Don't forget Starju. Starju also shows up to all my Dexter streams. Thank you both. But RD Films, happy birthday. You're awesome.
I will say, and I'm going to put him on blast a little bit. He came into the Whiskey Jedi, and he said he likes bourbon more than Scotch, and he's from Scotland.
Ooh, interesting. Well, there you go.
By the way, I apologize. I don't know what commotion is happening. There's like fire trucks, helicopters, a person on a skateboard. My place is like going psychotic right now.
Hey, I saw at least like 2 police cars just zooming past me on my way home. Hey, it's Sacramento. Come on, Sacramento.
Yeah, Sacramento's a dangerous place, y'all. We're living in the hood.
I'm like the nicest part of Sacramento, and all this is going.
We all are. We're all in better parts of Sacramento.
But Brian, you're in Midtown, right?
No, I'm on the 40s.
He's in East Sac. He's in East Sac.
Oh, okay.
I'm literally I'm on 39.
It's a lot louder where Brian is than where Jake and I are, I will say.
Yeah.
It's a lot louder.
So.
We met Curtis this weekend. And
yes, we did.
His name is not actually Curtis Clam Sauce. I'll tell you that right now.
It is not.
We also met Maddie this weekend. What's up, man? Hope you're
Maddie's
traveling.
literally in Sacramento right now.
And he's from England. So a lot of viewers. We love it. Love it.
Sounds like an inside joke. Skateboarding is not a crime. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't care about the skateboard. It was just weird. Like,
was there skateboarding going on outside?
Yeah, there's literally like 90 different things going on outside my window right now. And I'm like, okay, calm it down a little bit.
Well, real quick, before we move on to Spider-Verse, Jacob, I had a question. Because I've never watched it. How are you liking the new season of Dexter? Is it good?
Yeah, so it's long story short, basically, when we last saw him, his son was 5 years old, and then Dexter fakes his death and abandons his son, basically. So now his son is 15, and he has to come face to face with his son, and that's kind of what's going on. But yes, I'm loving the new season of Dexter. It's very different.
Things, but I've never seen it, so
it's very different because the original series was in Miami, right, where all this crime happens. It's very like flashy and colorful, and now he's in a fictional town where there's like up in the snow and in the mountains. So very, very different show, but I'm liking it.
Doesn't I believe the widow from The Mandalorian plays his girlfriend, right?
Yes, she does. Julia Jones. And honestly, she's fantastic in the
I
Dexter
love her.
show.
She's not in enough stuff. She's
amazing. And I didn't know that was her at first. I looked through her IMDb and I was like, oh my goodness, is that her character's name in the show, the widow from
They just call her the widow, yeah.
Yeah, it was the episode where he helps save that little town.
Episode 4 of season 1.
She was great in The Mandalorian, and she's like the second or third lead on this show. She's great.
Cool.
She is great. But yes, if you saw our thumbnail and our marketing for this episode, it is Tuesday News Day, and we are discussing some Spider-Man stuff.
Some news.
And first up is a very cool trailer to discuss. Jake, you want to tell us about it?
Yeah. So first of all, there's a big reason why we didn't have a reaction up for this trailer this weekend is because Brian and I were gone. It happened in the middle of Schmoedown Spectacular. I didn't even get to watch it until like late that night.
Me too.
But
we
anyway,
didn't even know this trailer was coming, right? Like we couldn't plan for it.
Well, actually, it had been floating around about the day or two before, and then Chris Miller tweeted something out Saturday morning. It was like a spider, a web, and a spider, like just the emojis. So people were expecting it, at least something from it, not necessarily a full trailer, but at least something. But yeah, anyway, we got a full trailer for Into the Spider-Verse 2, which is officially titled Across the Spider-Verse. The new title, if you would let me continue. And the announcement also came with the news that this is part 1 of a 2-part story, and they are going to be released in back-to-back years, 2022 and 2023. They already have set dates. They came out and said that they came up with the story for the sequel, and it was so big that they didn't want to cut anything or cram into one movie, so they are doing 2 parts. It'll be called Across the Spider-Verse 1 and Across the Spider-Verse 2. Very similar to how they did Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, but then they ended up splitting them in different names for those later Avenger films. But yeah, we got a first look trailer, which was longer than a teaser, but very much still felt like a full teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Not really like a whole lot happened. Some dialogue between Gwen Stacy and Miles, and then we got our look at Oscar Isaac's Spider-Man from the future, Mr. Spider-Man 2099, who seems to be playing a big part in this one as well. But yeah, so we got our first look, and we saw these kids grown up a little bit in this trailer. They're not as young as they looked in the first one, which is kind of cool how the animation works.
He's been listening to the same song for 3 years.
He has been listening to the same song for 3 years. But yeah, let's talk about it, gentlemen. Jacob, we'll start with you because you are kind of the resident Spider-Man guy. Just kind of get your quick thoughts, and then we'll open the conversation a little bit back and forth. What'd you think?
Yeah, so I would consider this like an announcement trailer, right? They're basically letting people know, hey, this movie's coming. And most people, casual people don't know that, hey, they're working on a sequel, right? So when they release it on YouTube, it starts spreading and everybody starts. I actually heard people, I stopped at Starbucks on my lunch break today and I heard people talking about this. And I'm sure you guys do this too. Don't you guys hear people talking about stuff sometimes and you kind of want to butt in and like
100%.
talk? And sometimes they're like either talking about it wrong or they don't really know the whole thing. And sometimes you want to butt in and be like, no, this is what's really going on. But I didn't do that. But I heard people.
Sorry, I'm
talking about
Jacob, I don't mean to cut you off, but there's a new feature on StreamYard.
Yeah.
And it's like a star, but I don't know what that does.
So I noticed that, but I just kept talking.
Yeah, I saw it
going
too.
on?
Click on it with the star. Click on it with the star.
Oh, I see. Look, and then go up to the top right. It says starred. So you don't miss comments. This is great radio. This is
or is it like
radio.
So you can save them for later, right? Or
yeah,
those are the
what
ones
I
you
mean.
want to
yes.
get to.
So save them so you don't miss them. Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome.
I'm sorry. Like I know everyone watching is like,
no one has no idea what we're saying.
But our minds are like blown. I'm sorry.
Hey, we're learning about StreamYard as we go. Hey, that's a cool feature. That's we'll
like
use that in the future.
It's like we see the comments roll, and then all of a sudden a blue star popped up, and we were all like, "Excuse me."
So
well, I clicked it. I was like, "What is
yeah.
this?" And then so anyway.
No, that was funny because I saw it and I was like, I've never seen that before in the back of my head, but I just kept talking. But no, this I was basically saying like this is like an announcement trailer, so there's not much to talk about other than like, hey, they're back. But the cool thing is when he went to the other universe, the animation changed, which we saw all the characters look different in the previous
I did love
one.
that. I love that.
And then also we saw they're grown up a little bit, and of course they're grown up a little bit because time has passed. But it's so weird. Normally in like animated shows, the characters look the same for 20 years. So it's cool to see animation where the human characters are like getting older, which was pretty cool. But no, I liked it. I'm excited.
I will say, if I remember correctly, the last movie ended with how this trailer began, right?
Essentially, it was him laying down, and
Gwen was like Miles, right?
Yeah,
but they were still younger, right?
But I'm curious if this is like that same moment, or if this is just like
I think they've been hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
The way she like was so chill with it, like he wasn't shocked. Oh my god, it's
I agree.
Gwen.
I agree.
it was like, oh, hey, Gwen, like what, like, you know,
It's an interesting concept. Like say that is the first time that they meet. Brian's
Oh,
right.
he
He's
does
literally,
say, "I thought I'd never see you again."
so
who knows
and
what that
Brian
means.
would literally be right. He'd be listening to the same song for 3 straight years. But that's really neither here nor there. Like that's such a small deep detail. I love that. So my favorite part of the first one was Gwen Stacy. I thought that she was fantastic. I'm such a fan of her, and I think that having Haley Steinfeld voice the character.
I was gonna say,
brilliant.
isn't it Haley Steinfeld?
Yeah, it's Haley Steinfeld. The character has never gotten her real due diligence on the big screen, and so to see her kind of be used in a very strong light in this movie and franchise is very cool. I'm super excited because she brings out this really like powerful side in Miles, and that's as that scene shows, right? She's like, you know, Miles is grounded, but what about Spider-Man? Like, let's go. But yeah, Jacob, I forgot before we started talking that the animation did change in universes, which I thought was a really cool touch. Because the animation was the biggest thing talked about in the first movie, right? Some people didn't like it because it felt blurry, but a lot of people didn't realize that it was meant to feel like it was a comic book. Yeah, I remember we were having that conversation.
I was so confused. Like, why are they making this movie blurry?
Yeah, like it has certain moments and like overlays and stuff. As my laundry goes off, overlays and stuff to make it feel like you're turning pages or certain action scenes in a comic book or whatever it may be. Even with like the wording and, you know, the word bubbles and stuff like that. And then you switch to a different universe, and of course it's going to look a little different. 2099 looks a little different than Miles's universe. But I'm super excited because Spider-Man 2099 is a very, very cool character that has never been used.
He looks dope.
He looks really cool. Also, he's built very big. I didn't realize how big, like he's a bigger dude, and Miles is kind of a scrawny little dude. But yeah, Jacob's right. It's very much a teaser trailer. Not a whole lot went down. It's really just to bring us back into this world. And also it makes sense because you're riding off of the high of No Way Home. So why not drop something for this? And then you attach it to the movie theater for No Way Home, and everyone gets the chance to see the trailer in the movie theater, which is the entire point of dropping it now. And I'm sure we'll get a trailer probably sometime next year. I'd imagine maybe like Super Bowl time, somewhere around there. Because it doesn't come out till, what did it say? December? Was it December?
October, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have a while. And I think it was the perfect little announcement trailer. I thought it worked. I thought it really, really worked.
I love it. It's so funny to me. I'll never forget. I was so against the first movie before I judged this movie so hard before I even saw it.
Well, I think we all had the conversation of like, what is Sony doing? Like, what is Sony?
Yeah.
You know?
It was just like, I judged it so hard. I refused to go see it. And then one day I was just like, everyone is saying this movie's so good. Like, what is the big deal? Went and saw it by myself, and it's arguably one of, if not the best Spider-Man movies.
So I've seen a lot of rankings saying this is their favorite Spider-Man movie.
I would say it's at least top 3 for me, if not 2 or 1. Yeah, I love it. I love that they just got us enough to get us super excited. They didn't really say anything, didn't really show anything other than Spider-Man 2099. We still don't even really know what the story is.
Well, Brian, he's going across the universe.
Other than going across the universe.
That's all you know.
I just love it also because, like, today when I went to work, it was my first day back, and I watched the trailer with the kids, and they're so excited. They're so arguably more excited about this than No Way Home. Mind you, I have 7.
Oh yeah, kids loved Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
not only because it's animation, but the style and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I have 7th and 8th graders, so it's not like they don't know Goblin and Doc Ock like we do. So to them, this is like,
well, this is the new generation Spider-Man, just like Tom Holland is a certain generation Spider-Man.
Well, and I work at a very multicultural school, so seeing a not white Spider-Man is a big deal to them as well. So they're so excited. It's fun to be excited with them. And because, like I said, I was freaking out over Spider-Man No Way Home, and they're like, okay. But then, like, they see this, and they, like, were losing their minds. So, yeah, I'm excited. In fact, the kids and I were talking about it, like, what do they want to see, like, a lot more new Spider-Man? Because there's so many. Yeah, Superior Spider-Man. Like, there are so many different versions of Spider-Man that they could still do. They've got Japanese Spider-Man. They've got Indian Spider-Man. Like, there's so Punk Spider-Man. Like, there's so much more that they can do. And, I mean, they don't even have to bring back the other ones that they showed just because there's just so many. So I'm excited. I'm curious to see where this goes. And the part 1 definitely left me with the like, oh, like,
yeah, I did want to ask, because it being a 2-parter, who do we think the villain is of all this? Like,
interesting.
I've been thinking about it. I'm gonna take a swing. I think part 1 for like maybe like 85% of the movie is going to be Spider-Man 2099, because this is my prediction, is maybe since he's so far into the future, he has seen something that they maybe have done from crossing different universes and is trying to stop them from doing it.
Well, and from what I understand, 2099, he's sort of in a way like an anti-hero. He's not actually.
He kind of just does his own thing.
He kind of teeters a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like maybe he's the antagonist trying to stop them from maybe something happening that he thinks is bad. Like, if you keep doing this, this is going to happen and it's bad and it's going to mess up, only to realize maybe it's a bad guy or someone else that is the real cause of it. And then they join together and stop him. Number 2, maybe. That's my guess. I mean, I have nothing to go off of. But ever since I saw the trailer, I've been trying to think of a thing, and that's what.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Just because it is a 2-parter, that means the story's pretty big, and the villain's got to be pretty big. There's a lot of characters I would like to see. Spider type characters. I think the one character that I'd probably want to see the most is Spider-Woman.
Oh yeah,
didn't they already confirm her?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they cast her with an actress.
If they did, then that's the thing I'm looking forward to, because I've been wanting to see that character on screen for a very long time. And if she is in it, then I'm pumped. Probably something that was announced a long time ago that I'm
pretty sure it's Issa Rae.
Oh, really? If that's the case, then cool.
Yeah, Issa Rae, Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman.
Perfect.
Oh, that's her name, Jessica Drew. Yeah.
It was probably announced so long ago that I'm just forgetting what's the casting. But no, that's the one thing I've been looking forward to a lot in these Spider-Man movies. I want to see Spider-Woman. I think Jessica Drew is a very, very cool character. Very similar to how we're seeing She-Hulk finally. A character that I really want to see on the screen. And I also said for a long time that I think that she should have been Sony Spider-Man in a separate universe in the Venomverse.
You did say that,
but
a while ago,
who knows if that actually happens or not. The reason I asked about the villain part is because, and it being a 2-parter, and the fact that it's about across the universes, what are the possibilities that it's connected in some way to something what's happening in the MCU? Like, do you think there's an actual chance that this specific Miles, who's eventually played by someone in live action, pops up? I mean, yes.
I'll scream if Gwen Stacy shows up.
But it wouldn't be Haley Steinfeld. It wouldn't be Haley Steinfeld.
I think it should.
It would be Kieran.
I think they should, honestly.
I hope.
Because look, it all technically, I mean, we know at the end of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, they showed a post-credit scene. Meanwhile, in another universe, and they cut to Venom. So we know Venom and this animated Spider-Man world are technically in the same reality somehow, which means the MCU is connected to it somehow, because we saw Venom.
Well, and we saw
come into the the MCU.
And at the end of Let There Be
Yeah.
Carnage, essentially what he was just sitting there, and all of a sudden he glitched, and he's inside the MCU.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, like, Miles could literally glitch and pop up in the MCU, like
Part 2's live action. No,
like maybe this
crazy.
is like this could legit be the way that we get Miles in the MCU. It's possible.
I honestly
only
think
thing-
it's possible. Yeah.
That would make me think that is because of Donald Glover's line where he says, "Oh, my nephew Miles."
Oh yeah, they'd have,
So
to,
then it would be
figure
two.
out how to way connect that in a
Well,
way.
they could say, you know, this is a variant of Miles Morales from this universe and the one that he referenced in Homecoming was just maybe he never became
normal kid.
Spider-Man.
It's a normal
He
kid.
was just
Yeah.
But what's the actor's name who voices Miles Morales?
Shameik Moore.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if he plays him at all. Like
I think he's
I'm
perfect.
Totally,
Isn't he older?
No, he's like in his 20s.
Well,
he's around Tom Holland's
he
age.
is older,
he's
but
26.
he could play
He's
younger.
around
though.
Tom Holland's age.
He
He was
can
in
play younger.
what was the movie?
Dope?
Dope. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dope.
And you know, he has one of those faces where he can play a high schooler, you know?
100%.
You
Well,
definitely
look at Tom
play-
Holland. Tom Holland's around 25.
And look how much the animated version has aged. Like he looks like almost a man now. Like he's he's in college.
I swear, if they become live action and they cast Kieran Shipka, I know for a fact someone at Sony's been watching our channel. I've been championing her for so damn long to play Gwen Stacy. It needs to happen.
She looks like her too.
Is that the daughter from Mad Men?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
She
know
played
her
Sabrina.
from.
She played Sabrina.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, I think this is cool because, you know, Spider-Man 2099 isn't Peter Parker. He's Miguel O'Hara, I believe.
Miguel O'Hara.
And if I'm not mistaken, he's a Hispanic character.
Well, yeah, and Oscar Isaac probably wouldn't be able to play him, obviously, because he's Moon Knight.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. Like, they can pick and choose translating voice cast to live action.
Well, it's the Ahsoka thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
they got Rosario Dawson to play her in live action.
I'm all for Jake Johnson being Peter B. Parker.
Hey,
He would
I'm
be
down for
perfect.
that.
That might look a little weird because Jake Johnson's not like the tall, thin type like Peter B. Parker is.
Neither is Peter B. Parker's got a gut, and
Well, he's got a beer gut, but he's
got
tall
a
and
pizza
thin.
belly.
Yeah.
There you go, pizza belly.
Let the man live.
But no, I mean, we're just kind of hypothetically talking the fact that this is possible because every other property that Sony has is now entering the MCU, right? Sam Raimi Spider-Man, Mark Webb Spider-Man, the Venom movies. That's pretty much all they've done to this point because they've run everything else into the ground. It's all entering the MCU.
When does Multiverse of Madness come out?
Not until
month?
next year. It's
March.
That's what I thought it was. It might be May now.
I think I
Hold
have
on,
the
let me
schedule. Hold on.
Do you guys think Multiverse of Madness concludes all this multiverse stuff? Or do you think
No.
it keeps going?
It's
after
May. It's May. May 6th.
Because there could be some little ties because then this would come out a few months later.
I mean, it may
It probably concludes a storyline about it.
it may
but-
conclude the multiverse being broken, but I think that after multiverse so I'll say yes because I think after the Multiverse of Madness everything will be put back together, but everything's going to be blended. I think everything will be blended. And we're going to have a conversation here in a little bit because of the Charlie Cox stuff about of other Marvel properties that have from Marvel's past. But I think we're going to see a lot of blended stuff happening as far as characters coming back, actors coming back because of what No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness are kind of setting up. Because of the other properties, I don't see Black Panther 2 dealing with it, Captain Marvel 2. I don't see really any of those properties dealing with multiverse stuff. Maybe in Loki season 2, but that's a long ways away. So I would probably say yes. I'd say yes.
Well, I was asking because, however Multiverse of Madness ends, we could see repercussions in this movie, Spider-Man and Across the Spider-Verse. There could be some little connection, if anything.
Yeah. There's so like literally just go on Wikipedia and type in like all Spider-Man or some Spider-Man, whatever. And there's
It's like the Bat Family.
tons.
It's like the Bat Family, literally.
It goes on forever.
Mhm.
And I did look up. So the people that are confirmed to appear is Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, Oscar Isaacs, Miguel O'Hara, Peter B. Parker, Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, and they didn't cast the person, but the Japanese Spider-Man.
Okay, cool.
Interesting. So they're bringing Peter B. Parker back. I wonder how that's going to work because they all went back to their universes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. But I'm glad he's back.
He had the closest relationship with Miles, so it kind of makes sense that he's back.
Yeah. And Jake Johnson's so good in that role.
Yeah, for sure.
He really is.
So it kind of makes sense. I think it makes sense for Peter B and Gwen to return out of that entire group. If we see the others, cool, but I think that we'll probably see a lot of new cars, and we won't see like noir Spider-Man or anything like that. I think we'll get a bunch of new Spider-Man like Brian's talking about, just because it just makes sense. You know?
And there's so many.
And not even like characters that are named Spider-Man, like Silk or you know, like there's characters out there that we've never seen on screen that we could easily see inside of a Spider-Verse movie like this. That would get their chance, or a character like Black Cat or Silver Sable, or just
look at how much
different
like
versions of like Goblin and stuff.
Yeah, there's so many different versions of different characters that they could give them their own universe, essentially. So,
there's literally dozens.
I agree with Brian what he was saying, that I think Miguel O'Hara is going to be a big problem for Miles in this movie, but he's not going to be the big villain of the 2-story arc. It's going to be somebody.
He'll be an ally. He'll become an ally.
I think there'll be somebody behind it that I don't necessarily know if it's going to be because they used Kingpin, right? Who actually originally was a Spider-Man villain. But I was gonna say I don't think they're gonna use. Oh, maybe they will. I was gonna say I don't think they're gonna use.
I really have no idea
villain.
because it seems like it's dealing with someone who is universe wide.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like somebody who has that type of power.
I honestly have no idea. That's so my. I thought to myself, Kang could actually be a really cool way, and you have Jonathan Majors voice him. Like it would actually be really cool, but at the same time, you probably don't want to oversaturate him because he's in Ant-Man 3. He is coming in that as well. I honestly have no idea what the villain or the antagonist of the movie will be, just because none of Spider-Man's normal villains make sense for this type of story.
Well, plus you've already used what? You've already used Kingpin. You've already used Doc Ock, technically. You already used Goblin.
Well, I don't see them using any of the villains they're using in the live action movies either. That's what I'm getting into.
They used Tombstone.
Well, I think it could be somebody who's a bigger Marvel villain, not necessarily a Spider-Man villain. Just like you said with King,
for sure.
Scorpion.
Somebody. I'm not saying Doctor Doom, but somebody like that.
Doctor Doom is very cool.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. If it's anyone other than Spider-Man villain, Disney has to give them the permission to use them.
But if they're moving inside the MCU, I bet you they would.
I know, but either way,
and that's part of their agreement, though. Too is to use characters from the MCU.
It could honestly be freaking anyone. There's so many. If you guys ever get bored, go type in on Wikipedia alternate versions of Spider-Man. There are some hilarious
when you go to the comic book store, they literally have a whole section of just Spider-Man comics, and there's like 100 of them.
Well, he's arguably the most popular comic book character ever made, over Batman and Superman. I'd argue that Spider-Man is probably the most popular.
Batman.
There's a Spider Monkey.
The thing with Spider-Man is like he has just as many adult fans as Batman, but kids love Spider-Man too.
Because he is a kid, literally.
Yeah, exactly. So, if those are your last thoughts on this trailer, we can go ahead and move on. We're not done talking Marvel though. Brian, we do have a little Marvel show here on our channel. You want to tell them about it?
Just a wee bit, just a little one. It's called Marvel Rewind. That is where you can hear us talk. Jesus Christ, I just thought I almost got shot outside. Did you hear that? But yeah, it is our Marvel Rewind show, which is all the Marvel shows that we talk about. And this currently means that we are talking about Hawkeye. We have done 2 episodes for the 3 that have been released. No, we did 1 and 2 together. So 2 episodes for the 3 that have been released. And the next one, Thursday or Wednesday? Thursday will be Thursday. We will be talking episode 4. And yeah, definitely come check it out.
We're about to see a certain dude.
I think he comes in 5.
No, I'm not. I don't think he's coming in next episode either. But we're about to see a certain dude.
Yeah,
Eventually.
I mean,
yeah.
Jake, poor Jake and I were like, we want to talk about this so bad, but we can't literally have to leave for the airport.
Oh
and
my
stuff. It's like,
goodness.
it was so painful to not.
What, did you guys watch it right before you left or something?
Well, no,
No,
it's
we
going to be
did,
on
but-
Rewind to last week.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Jake
We
and I
couldn't-
all
we couldn't
day were
make
trying.
Rewind, so
Yeah, him
I
and
haven't
were
been on
trying-
at all.
Ooh.
I haven't been on at all to talk about
I
this
know.
show.
We literally
Hey,
have
that's
no
a
idea
hot
what
take,
Jake.
Star Drew. Star Drew saying Fisk isn't coming.
Star
That's
Drew.
a hot take.
There's no way.
Starder's wrong.
Sorry, Star Drew, you ain't.
I would argue he's already arrived. Look, that chuckle, that is Vincent D'Onofrio. You cannot tell me that chuckle is not Vincent D'Onofrio.
Have you seen
Come
the
on.
freeze frame of him pinching her cheeks? He it's a full
Yeah,
on.
grabs her
I was
face.
like,
yeah.
wow.
Fisk is a violent dude. That's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely come check that out because
These last 3 episodes are about to be bunkers.
yeah, this is
This show's gonna be way bigger than people think.
and hey, I will say this for people that doubted it, like I wasn't high up on my list. It has been a treat. My friends and I know Jake's gonna say I've said it all along. What?
Hot take. It's the best Disney Plus show.
Wow.
It's one of, I will say, my friends that are just casual Marvel fans have actually said that. So,
like you think so already, Jake?
Wow. Yeah, they feel like they're
You know,
watching
a lot of
long
people
one.
were
On my Thursday to
disappointed.
hear my real thoughts, everybody.
A lot of people were disappointed with episode 1 and 2. That's interesting.
Well, and then they got episode 3.
I wasn't. I still got WandaVision as my favorite.
Me too.
MCU show. But
Anyway, we have
this
amazing
is
thing to talk
pretty
about.
damn good. But hey, that was a tease preview for Marvel Rewind. So there you
Yeah,
go.
I mean, heck, this next topic might have been kicked off because of the last episode of Hawkeye. So I'll let you.
And speaking of Kingpin, we have one more Tuesday Newsday topic. What is it?
I'm jacked right now, you guys. I am so juiced because it is official. It is absolutely official. Kevin Feige, the man himself, has confirmed Charlie Cox is the MCU's Daredevil. And he had said, I don't have the exact quote up in front of me, but he basically said, whenever you see Daredevil next, the man that will be playing him is Charlie friggin' Cox. He's returning. He's back. We don't know when. We don't know how. We don't know any of that. We're going to theorize hypothetically and talk about it a little bit. But Charlie Cox is officially returning as the man, the devil from Hell's Kitchen. He is returning. He's going to be suiting up back again inside the MCU. And we're going to be seeing Daredevil alongside Spider-Man and Captain Marvel and Captain America and all these characters. And I'm jacked, you guys. Can't you tell? I'm so juiced right now.
Here's the quote. If you didn't know the quote. If you were to see Daredevil in upcoming things, Charlie Cox, yes, would be the actor playing Daredevil. Where we see that, how we see that, when we see that remains to be seen.
Wow. Freaking Kevin Feige, man.
I loved it.
can't-
Did you notice
so
Amy
good.
Pascal was sitting next to him and she's just like, yeah. Because she's
Oh.
So I'm
Because
gonna
that means it has to be in her movie then.
I'm gonna say this. This is the best thing to happen to the MCU in a long time. This might be the best thing that happened in the MCU since they got Spider-Man.
it was one of the smartest moves they've made too.
Because Netflix, and I'm actually in the middle of rewatching all of the Marvel Netflix shows. I just started The Defenders. I watched the first 2 seasons of Daredevil. And I forgot how much hype and anticipation was around those shows.
Yeah.
Don't you love when you get so excited that you just your brain
I just can't talk. I literally just can't talk right now. This is like the one thing that I've been wishing for years for Charlie Cox
this
to come
guy.
back. I've been wanting this character back inside the MCU. I want Charlie Cox to play him. I want that world that was created inside the MCU. And of course, it's going to be adjusted and changed, and it's going to look a little different because it's inside the movie verse. But those characters and his history from those shows is going to transfer into what we know of him in the MCU. And it's going to be changed.
I think the Netflix show is going to be a variant.
No, I don't think so. No. Then so we're not going to see that Daredevil? No way.
Even if it is, like, some variants are slight changes to the character. Some variants are major changes to the character. So it could
I don't think we'll see a variant, and I hope it's not a variant. I'd actually be pretty disappointed if it was a variant, because I want that Matt Murdock and what he's gone through in that show, the Elektra stuff, the Kingpin, right? If it's the history with Kingpin, that Bullseye, get him back to play Bullseye. I mean, there's history that you got to keep that history. You got to keep that history.
Yeah, I agree. And look, I love that show just as much as you, Jake. We did reviews on it back when it was coming out, and they never officially said whether they were part of the MCU or not. Like, there was always some back and forth about it. But you got to remember, Kevin Feige wasn't in charge of those shows. He didn't make them. He wasn't a part of those shows. So, and Daredevil is like, that show made Daredevil one of my favorite superheroes, period. Like,
100%.
I freaking love Daredevil now.
100%.
Like, I started reading Daredevil comics because of the show. Like, and I dressed up as Daredevil for your Halloween party, Jake, a few years ago.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
I was there too.
Your collective Halloween party. If you remember, I was pretending I was blind and I ran into you, Jake. That was funny.
No, I remember.
But yeah, this was like my number one wish too. Like, for the like, if we were to bring any character, look, of course I would love to see like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but like it wouldn't make sense, right? Like, they could do that and it would be cool, but it doesn't make sense. This makes sense. Like, I don't want another actor playing Daredevil right now. If they would have recast Daredevil, I would have been very like just put off by it. And
he worked too hard.
Yes.
I was just way too hard.
He's so good, and he embodies the character. Like, he is Daredevil. Just like Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. He is Matt Murdock to me, and I don't want to see it any other way. And I cannot wait to see him interact with the characters that we already know.
If whenever he interacts with Spider-Man, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yeah, sad. Like, I wish he could interact with Black Widow. That would, I don't know why.
Yeah, it would be great. I want to see him with Hawkeye. I think him and Hawkeye would be really cool together. But I think the one that we're all really looking forward to is probably Team Red, Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Deadpool.
Yeah,
it's those three together. If you have those three in the universe, I swear it would be the biggest letdown in MCU history if you don't put them on screen together.
I mean, I never thought I'd see Daredevil and Spider-Man yet alone together, but
can you imagine them three on screen? And imagine look how different they are as characters and actors. Like Ryan Reynolds, Tom Holland, and Charlie Cox.
Look at my hair. I'm getting the chills.
Can you imagine the comedic gold that's going to come from, like, Daredevil's probably going to make fun of Daredevil, or Deadpool's going to make fun of Daredevil? It's going to be hilarious.
I would love to know.
Andy, there's a video of him sitting in a chair, just putting the mask on, drinking a drink. You can find it on the internet. It's so good.
And it's not even a Daredevil interview?
No, he's just sitting at home in a chair with a fire, drinking a drink. He puts the mask on.
Wow.
I'll see if I can find it.
He probably is like, damn right, I'm Daredevil.
I just watched an interview that he did where I guess he did a charity auction and asked if he could use his glasses, the black glasses from season 1, and they let him. And only one person ended up bidding on him for $250. And he was like, F that. Like, I'm buying them then, and paid $500. And he says, for like the next year, he just wore them around the house, just little black glasses.
Oh, yeah, because didn't they auction all the stuff off from the show?
Yeah, they auctioned a bunch of the stuff off.
Wow.
But yeah, Jacob, you hit it on the
head.
Should have
bought that suit.
There are actors, when you see them play characters, that's the character. And he was the Daredevil. Like he is perfect. Like it would have been a travesty to have to see someone else play that character other than him. He is so good. Go ahead, Jake.
Okay, I have the video. Here's the video. This is great. I don't know if the audio is going to play, but here's the video. This was a year ago.
Wow. That's hilarious. He's just chilling.
You know what's funny? You know what's so funny about this is that this, like, okay, I'm just saying, like, what if he shows up in No Way Home? What if this was like right after he got the word that, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be showing up in No Way Home?
I bet you it was because
nobody knew what was happening.
I bet you it
would love
was.
to know how long Feige's been in contact with him. Like, hey, you're gonna play Daredevil.
I bet you it was ever
chill.
since the show ended.
I honestly kind
guarantee
of
it.
feel like that. Like he's probably been honestly like, hey, just chill. We want you to play Daredevil. You're gonna come back. We've just got to play it out for a little bit, and then we've got you back in.
So
And
when
he's just been
Netflix
sitting on it.
canceled everything,
Can you imagine sitting on that? For
yeah. So Netflix canceled everything. If I'm not mistaken, Daredevil season 3 was the last thing to come out, and all of the Marvel Netflix stuff.
I think didn't Jessica Jones season 3 come out after that?
I'd have to look at the timeline. I'm not 100%
I think Jacob's
sure.
right. I think Jessica Jones was technically,
but nobody was excited for it because they knew everything was getting canceled.
Yeah.
And so Daredevil was one of the characters that had the longest wait for rights because they had to wait 2 full years after its last episode, which meant that Daredevil and Jessica Jones were the 2 characters that had the longest wait for MCU for Marvel to get their rights back. And I don't know exactly what timeline it was canceled, but I bet you like when it was canceled, when Netflix said, hey, we're not doing this anymore, I guarantee you Feige kind of went up to them and said, hey, we plan on maybe using you guys again. We would love for you to be these characters for us in these movies. We don't have an exact timeline, but we're going to keep in contact. I have no doubt. And then when this movie gets put together in No Way Home, it's almost like a pitch perfect setting in bringing in Matt Murdock, right? And I know the theory of him being Peter Parker's lawyer has been out there from the very beginning. It could happen in some other capacity of him showing up. Maybe he's in the courtroom beforehand, before Peter actually walks in or something, defending someone else. Or maybe his name gets referenced. I don't know, but it's just like a pitch perfect setting for the character to show up and join this universe because he is so important to so many different stories inside the comics that we could see with these characters.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be a cameo if it's in No Way Home. To be honest, I don't think he's suiting up in this movie.
No.
It wouldn't make any sense.
I don't think he'll suit up either. Not at all.
And it wouldn't make sense. He's not getting involved in these fights. What is he gonna do? Like swing and jump on somebody? Like he's a street level. I mean, Spider-Man can go street level and grander stuff, right? Daredevil's kind of only street level for the most part. But yeah, this is like a dream come true. We talked about this in our group chat, and I didn't really say anything because I wanted to save my excitement and thoughts for this. But thank you, Kevin Feige, for making this happen. Like, thank you.
I mean, it's incredible. It would have been so stupid for them to not bring him back. I just looked at the Daredevil season 1 on Rotten Tomatoes has a 99%. Season 2, 81. Season 3, 97.
Yeah, I think they got better every season, to be honest.
That is wild for...
I mean, I've said it from the beginning. Season 2 is one of my favorite TV seasons of all
time. Why are they hating on season 2? Season 2 is amazing. With stairwell scene.
Season 2 had the least amount of reviews, so that's probably why.
But yeah, but that stairwell scene, Punisher, and look,
Well, you know that shockingly, Punisher is the lowest rated of them all.
Yeah,
Well,
honestly,
not Iron Fist. I don't count
well,
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist is not that good, but honestly,
Jacob, I literally imagined you when you heard this, like walking, looking at your phone, and then just passing out.
yeah, honestly, okay, so we have like a Facebook group chat that we all talk on for Apocaflix, and Jake put this in the chat, and I was like, "What do I say?" And I was like,
"Yes,
yeah, he did."
Jake,
I was like, "What do I say?" I was like, "Nothing I could say is a good enough." Yeah, you should probably share those comments when we laugh at them because people are like, "What the hell are they laughing at?"
He got so excited he had to go pee, so then he came back.
No, but when Jake put it in the group chat, I was like, I don't even know what to say. Like, whatever I'm gonna say.
No one responded to me, so F all you guys.
I was like, whatever I'm gonna say is not good enough. I was like, I have to share this.
Weren't we?
No, we weren't. Nobody responded to me. I felt like such a loner. I was like, oh, I mean, just nobody cares about Charlie Cox the Daredevil, apparently.
Jake, I sat there and stared at it, and I was like thinking, and I was like, nothing I say is good enough. I was like, I'm just gonna save it for the show. But look, Kevin Feige is a smart man. He watched Daredevil. He knows what's up. This is arguably the best comic book show ever. Honestly, I mean, it's in the conversation.
I mean, I could sit there. That would be an interesting ranking, by the way. That would be a very interesting.
We've never really done that. I mean, I think the boys
rank the not just the Netflix shows, but comic book shows in general.
Jake, you'd put it over Arrow, right? Or no?
The thing is, there are bad seasons of Arrow.
There are, but dude, Jake, remember season 2?
Season 2 is incredible.
Remember season 2?
Deathstroke, come on.
Okay. Anyway, I want to move on to a.
We have to rank the seasons individually. Like,
yeah. Anyway,
I'll raise you one Agents of Shield.
I mean, I do love Agents of Shield. Agents of Shield actually finished very strong. Anyway,
sorry, Rachel.
I wanted to bring in kind of like a conversation starter in the sense of like, so Charlie Cox is official. More than likely, we'll probably see some other of the Netflix characters pop in, a la Jessica Jones, or I know there's been a lot of rumors. Actually, not even rumors. It was, and Jacob, I don't know if you saw this, and Brian, I don't know if you saw this either, but Jessica Henwick actually had to choose between Matrix 4 and Shang-Chi. Jessica Henwick plays Colleen Wing on Iron Fist. She was going to be in Shang-Chi. She had to make the decision to do whichever one, and obviously
was she going to be Colleen in?
Yes,
in Shang-Chi.
Yes, they offered her a spot in the movie, but she went with the Matrix 4 because it was a bigger role.
Yeah,
did you see? I don't what she said.
No, but
she said it was one of the toughest decisions she's ever made. It was like taking a red or a blue pill.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of rumors of maybe Iron Fist popping up in Shang-Chi 2. Because they have heavy connections with their powers. But I wanted to ask the question of not just the Netflix heroes, but the idea of this kind of being like the first one that's become official. It seems like Kingpin is in Hawkeye. That's what we think anyway. It hasn't really been seen. But because this one is official, is this like a landslide waiting to happen from other characters via... Obviously, Deadpool's going to show up at some point, but maybe some other X-Men characters. I don't know if they'll ever use Fantastic Four again from the past movies, but possibly them. Other Marvel movies from the past that haven't really had a connection to this yet, or even shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., for example, like Daisy, Quake. Like, could we see Quake in the MCU? And because of what they're doing with the Netflix heroes, like. Do you think this is just like a landslide of characters waiting to be announced, brought into this universe with those same actors playing them in the MCU going forward?
Hot take. You'll see X-Men characters in Multiverse of Madness.
I think we'll see at least 2 of them. I don't know who, but or I'll say at least one of them, I'll say.
So you think we'll see returning X-Men characters?
Yes.
Well, that would make sense, right?
Maybe like
Magneto's the top choice.
Yeah, Magneto and
he's the top choice to show up. It would make sense for him to show up the most, but
and then I could see because it would be pretty funny and it would just be so much fan service that people would eat it up. Chris Evans doing something quickly as Human Torch.
Human Torch.
I don't know if they would do that.
I'd rather them not, to be honest.
I don't know if Chris Evans would want to do that.
Would you be fine with it if it was Deadpool kills the whatever?
But they don't necessarily need to show because we never got confirmation that Fantastic Four and X-Men were in the same universe. So, I
don't think we'll see any Fantastic Four actor back.
Probably not, because Jessica Biel doesn't really act anymore, and
Alba from none of the movies, from the early 2000 ones or the 2015.
Actually, you know what?
None
I will say I wouldn't mind seeing the newer Fantastic Four characters back. Miles Teller.
But I think if they did that, they would be saying that that's our Fantastic Four.
I'm okay with
forward.
That. Jamie Bell, Kate Mara, Michael B. Jordan, Miles Teller, and then Toby Kebbell is Dr. Doom.
Michael B. Jordan was oh man.
I don't think they will. They won't. I don't think they will.
I don't think
I wouldn't mind seeing some kind of connection there, because I thought the bones of that movie were really good, but it got dismantled through the editing process or something. Like the movie just was not coherent whatsoever.
I don't think they touch Fantastic Four with a 10-foot pole except for their restart, because they want to make sure because this is going to be the fourth.
Okay, so I'll take back everything I said, because I forgot that they already announced the Fantastic Four project. I forgot about that.
And
they haven't announced an X-Men project, which is why I'm guessing.
If No Way Home is amazing, then that will make us way more excited for Fantastic Four, because John Watts is directing Fantastic Four, which is like, honestly, like I love Spider-Man Homecoming, but like that was his first movie, like big budget movie. Far From Home is like, it's pretty good, like not great in my opinion, but if this movie's great. But anyways, back to your question, Jake, there's two characters I really have to see back, and those actors playing them. And because they didn't get enough time to play them, and there's so much more story to tell with those characters, and they're so good in the roles. One of them is Wilson Bethel as what's his name? He's the villain in Daredevil that Colin Farrell played in the original movie.
Bullseye.
Bullseye. Wilson Bethel as Bullseye. I loved that character in Daredevil season 3. Like I thought it was done so well. The character, you remember the background of that character? That was crazy. And then also the way they used action. I mean, I think if Charlie Cox is back, if they ever bring Bullseye, it's got to be him, I think.
I don't remember how season 3 ends, but did he get away?
So remember, Kingpin smashes his back against the wall, and then he goes into surgery.
That's right.
And I don't love them showing his pupil, like have the bullseye in the pupil or whatever in the eye. But
I forgot about that. Okay.
That's what happened. The last shot was him in surgery getting his back fixed.
I will. It's tough because I don't think.
I'm not saying
Bullseye's a great choice because he's Daredevil's most popular foil, right? And the rumors were that they wanted to do a Daredevil series on Netflix. They want to kind of not continue the story, but just kind of put him in the MCU and make a Disney Plus series out of it. And it would make sense to include the Bullseye character because he's the most popular foil. He is.
Yeah. And then obviously I got to see John Bernthal back as Punisher. Just
and I was having a conversation with someone about this the other day. I don't know if they touch him for a little bit because he's a flat out murderer.
Yeah.
And because of what's happening in our country, in our world right now, it might be tough to put him back on screen with everything that's happening. Just because he straight up kills people. Like without, I mean, he obviously has a little bit of morals, but he's the most violent of all the Netflix character or Marvel characters. But yes, he is one character that I think that deserves to be shown back on screen 100%. I agree.
And I see what you're saying. And I think they do wait for him for a while. You know,
I agree.
They shouldn't let the outside world ruin a character for everybody. But I think they will wait though for a while.
I agree.
Brian, any characters? So honestly, my if I have to choose one it's Bullseye for me. But what about you, Brian? Do you have one you have to see?
Out of what we've seen so far, if I'm picking someone other than Bullseye, I mean, I would love to see Jessica Jones back again. I
Yeah.
love Kristen Ritter.
She's great in the role.
I think she'll be back. I think she'll come back.
I still haven't finished Jessica Jones season 3.
I
I still haven't finished it.
I
Oh, man.
loved the last season of Jessica Jones.
Did
It
you
was
finish
so
it?
good. Yeah.
What's her best friend's name? She's like has the cat
Oh.
powers.
Yeah. Crap.
Yeah,
I know
but
her-
anyways,
I know the
I was
superhero's name
curious.
is Hellcat.
I started the season, but I did not like season 2 of Jessica Jones at all. But the character is great. Kristen Ritter's great as the character.
Trish.
They just
That was
Trish.
They couldn't pick up their footing from after the Purple Man.
And oh my goodness, yeah.
I
season
disagree
1
because I loved season 3. I don't
even remember what season 3 was about.
Typhoid Mary.
Well,
Like I
it's
said,
when Trish they get into Trish having her powers and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she has like rage issues, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see
Jake's okay with her being a
hell?
variant. With
Some-
that,
there's a
Jessica
certain
Jones
kind of-
being a variant, though, right?
There's literally certain types
Just
of
forget her
crazy-
history.
So let me ask this:
A parade going on outside my
Does
apartment.
Jessica Jones get a super suit in the MCU, or does she stay in the jeans and the jacket?
Jeans and jacket, baby.
You
That's all-
think so? I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, they'll do something like they got to go on a mission, and somebody like Reed Richards is like, "No, you have to wear this," and she's like, "Really?" Like, I look like a fool, and then she'll put it on.
I would, and this will never happen.
Andy, I was gonna say, why did Typhoid Mary seem wrong? It was all Trish. Trish was the main, just everything. Trish.
Oh, okay. I don't think this will ever happen, but like I said, I don't think it'll ever happen. But I would really love for them to essentially do a Defenders 2 and kind of right the wrongs of what the first season did. I know it was deemed a limited series.
I think they're already laying the groundwork for it.
But I'm saying like Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, like the 4 of them.
Oh, those 4
Like
specifically.
I want them to right the wrongs of what the Defenders did.
I would rather them right the wrong and make Heroes for Hire.
Yeah, I mean, well, Heroes for Hire probably makes sense, but do you think they're probably going to have to? I think they're probably going to end up recasting Iron Fist.
I'm 100% fine with that. I hope they do recast Iron Fist. I think that they are already slowly putting the Defenders together. You have Daredevil. You could technically do Spider-Man. You have Moon Knight. Potentially some more of these 4 that we've seen.
As much as I would love to see Mike Coulter's Luke Cage, and even because I thought Iron Fist season 2 was a big step up from season 1. Finn Jones back. I think that the likely of seeing just Kristen Ritter and Charlie Cox back, and maybe some of their side characters, is much more likely than seeing Enormous. I think those are probably the 2 that they're going for. And then maybe they don't touch Luke Cage and Iron Fist for a little bit, and they just use, like Brian's saying, the characters that they've kind of established inside this Disney Plus verse, like She-Hulk. They can add She-Hulk in there, and she can kind of replace what Luke Cage is all about.
Well, I think it would be genius for them to only grab Jessica Jones and Daredevil, those 2 shows, not just the characters, and then start over with Iron Fist and Luke Cage. And I could 100% see Feige starting those 2 characters off as a Heroes for Hire TV show.
Yeah.
I can literally almost picture the logo, Heroes for Hire.
Yeah, especially they've already had their own series on Netflix. Like, try something new, do it together.
I am interested though if Conley not Colleen Wing. If Jessica Henwick did have an offer in Shang-Chi, you can't have her and not have Finn Jones. That's just weird. That would be.
I heard it, but I don't remember them saying that she was going to be Colleen Wing. I just heard they offered her a role in Shang-Chi.
Yes, but don't you think it would be for
because I think she could be some new badass person.
Yeah, I leaned more towards it being Colleen Wing. I don't know. It's all up in the air. Anyway,
I mean, it would have been easy, right? She's fighting in the club, and because she was already doing stuff like that. Too.
Did you guys finish Iron Fist 2? Did you finish it?
Well, she becomes the Iron Fist.
She becomes the Iron.
And he loses it.
Iron. She has a white power fist, but it's the sword.
So we talked about this before, but I would be totally okay if they just move forward with her as Iron Fist going forward.
Yeah. Well, because the last time we saw what's his name? Is his name Danny Rand? That's his name, right?
Yeah, Danny Rand.
Last time we saw Danny Rand, he went to go looking for Kung Lung, and Kung Lung had disappeared. Not Kung Lung. Whatever the other. That's Kung Lung is Shang-Chi.
Yeah, no.
Whatever
Kung Lung is. No, you're right. Kung Lung and
Kung Lung was Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. You were right.
It's the same place?
No, Tao Lo is Shang-Chi.
Tao Lo. Okay. So he went looking for Kung Lung because it was essentially wiped off the face of the planet.
It it moved, or something. They thought.
And the last time we saw them, he was in like Japan or something
with his buddy, with his best friend, and they were
in the bar, and he were like whooping butt or something.
Yeah. With his gun.
How did?
The guns. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay.
It was kind of cheesy.
They need to redo Iron Fist, and they need to reestablish. They need to redo the Rand Corporation stuff. Because that could be big moving forward. Like that Rand is a big company in Marvel.
Yeah, for sure. So they kind of set it up in season 1 how big it was, but never really
did
forward with it.
Honestly, for me in Iron Fist, the side characters were the best part of the brother and the sister and Colleen Wing. Those were the 3 best characters in that whole show.
Yeah, I mean, I know everyone didn't like Finn Jones as Danny Rand. I know a lot of people, and he wasn't the best at acting.
No,
but I will say real quick, this is, and I was speaking of Jane. This is actually, I'm very much on board with this. I don't think that most of it will be referenced. They'll kind of just implant the characters into the universe, and we'll just know them going forward. And we'll see Kingpin but we don't have to go into backstory about what he did. Those are there, and we just move forward with him as Kingpin, and Charlie and Daredevil, and
even if they are the exact same versions, right? It's been years, so new stuff has happened to them. It's not 100%. Just everything that we saw, and they don't have to talk about everything that happened.
Well, I will say Daredevil did end on a major cliffhanger, so
it did. That's very true. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why they bring Bullseye back. There we go.
My whole thing, I'm just curious, is how, if you're going to do, it's so much more confusing to me picking and pulling from the shows. My 2 friends from back home, they never watched any of the Netflix shows. And now we're oh, this guy's coming back. So is it all canon? And I'm I don't know. They're should we watch all of the shows? And I'm I don't know, because you could potentially be introduced through when he comes on, or you're going to go and watch these shows and you might think you're getting that, but it could be something completely different. And then you're why did I watch that? So I'm kind of I don't know. That's why I'm kind of slightly.
I think either way, you should tell those people they need to watch Daredevil for their own.
I am. I did. I told them
whether it's canon or not.
I know. I told them that they need to at least watch Daredevil.
Binge the hell out of that.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to
recommend Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher's
pretty
too.
Good. Yeah.
But I'm honestly, now that he's for sure back, I kind of want to rewatch it a little bit too.
I've been doing it for the last couple weeks, and I've never felt more satisfied.
Look,
after
Netflix guide all 3 seasons of Daredevil, Jessica Jones season 1, and then both seasons of Punisher. Boom, There you go. Maybe
This
Defenders.
needs to Foggy needs to be back as well. I think Karen Page. I think everything Daredevil should return. Personally,
Honestly,
they were all
Daredevil. Daredevil was everyone. I know a lot of people were like, "Don't bring back Karen Page."
Deborah Ann Wall. I thought she was great.
I thought she was great too. I didn't have a problem with her.
And Kingpin endorsed her. Vincent D'Onofrio. Did you see that?
Yeah. So, I mean, Daredevil seems to be the most solid one. I'm just curious how they go about it. I still somewhat believe that he's going to be that world is going to be a variant, and that these people are going to come back in this one, and they're just kind of gonna like hope you kind of remember certain things from this other world and just kind of like tweak it into ours. Because I don't see them starting his story over again. That would be stupid.
I don't think you need to start it over again.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that you're gonna get the whole, oh, here's a kid, his dad's a fighter, now he's blind. Like, there's no point. It's like Spider-Man. Like that would be the third time we've seen it.
I think, I mean, we saw it with Civil War, how he was already Spider-Man. Like,
that's what I mean. I mean, next to Spider-Man and maybe the X-Men, like, those are the characters we've seen their stories repeat. I mean, we had Ben Affleck's version, we had this show's version, the Netflix show. So then they would be doing it for a third time. Spider-Man is the same way. It would have been for the third time. So it's like, I don't know. I'm curious to see how they.
I like how we don't even bring up Kingpin because we just all know that he's already back.
It's a freaking lock. The fact that they called him Uncle, and
because if Kingpin, if they didn't have Echo in this show and we never heard anything about Kingpin, he would probably be our number one choice after Charlie Cox, right? Like Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin,
probably. I really like the guy.
Arguably.
Yeah, I mean, like John Bernthal's up there.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, and I know that the door is like kind of left open via how they did Ahsoka and Rebels. I want Elodie Young back as Elektra so effing bad. Like,
oh my goodness!
I think I think she'd be fantastic.
See that
she's amazing. Me, she didn't die, right?
Her and Daredevil were in the cave at the bottom of the building, and the building collapsed, and then we just found Daredevil, so we don't exactly know what happened.
That's right. Yeah.
See, that type of stuff is the stuff that I wouldn't mind them redoing. Like,
I don't want them to recast her because Elodie Young is so good.
That's fine. As Elektra, but I honestly would like a better Elektra story. I feel like the Netflix one was a little bit sloppy and rushed. They moved through the hand.
Is that season 1 when they're on the rooftop together fighting? Or season 2 they're on the rooftop together fighting the hand?
They spent 9 episodes with her in the hand. 9.
Yes, but like she was the hand for like 5 seconds, and then
she was the villain of Defenders, right?
She was the hand in the Defenders.
I don't know. I just feel like the hand is something that shouldn't be a season and done.
Well, no, they'll redo the hand. If Daredevil ever has another movie or property inside the MC, they will, because it's literally Daredevil versus the hand. That's like what it is.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's one of the things I hope they redo if they do it, is like make the hand more of a thing in the MCU. Make them not just a one and done. Like, have them appear all over the place, like this annoying, like Hydra. Like,
what if that Shang-Chi Disney Plus show has to do with the hand?
Sure. Like, that's what I'm just saying. I just don't want one season worth of the hand. The hand is a big enough thing in the comics that they could be around for a while, like Hydra. So that's probably the one thing I would, if I could, change from the Netflix to.
Well, I bet you they had plans for them, but then Netflix said, "Eh." I bet you they had a lot more plans, and the story just got that short.
You know what's cool though is that the Netflix characters were kind of R-rated in a way. The shows.
I don't know what RD's talking about, but that shit was violent.
Oh yeah.
Way more violent than some of the MCU stuff we're getting.
Oh, absolutely. Well, think of that jail hallway scene in Daredevil season 2,
and then also in season 3 with Kingpin, Daredevil, and Bullseye, when Kingpin is literally smashing him in the ground.
Yeah,
like.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, and I
love when it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm praying that brutality. If they kind of go there a little bit with Moon Knight, then you'll get it with the other stuff. So I'm hoping.
I mean, I don't know if we'll see like Punisher style violence in Moon
No.
Knight.
No. I'm not
We'll see
talking
violence.
Punisher. No, I'm talking.
It'll be
like,
as like far as you can go. PG-13.
How about like Brian? How about like
I mean, Daredevil was pretty violent.
how about like
like-
the Winter Soldier type violence?
I'm fine with that.
Because that was some pretty hard, like hard PG-13, like no blood, but there was some good violence in that.
I mean, as long as
A good way for me to jab that show in there.
as long as I'm still seeing like Kingpin's punching the crap out of people to the point where it's like,
Well,
like,
look at Winter
that's how
Soldier
Kingpin
in
is.
Civil War when he kills Tony's parents. Like that's pretty violent.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
yeah, that is still a tough scene to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, guys. So, do you guys have any other speculation, wishes based around Charlie Cox coming back? Like,
No, I don't care. Just give him to me.
I just want to say one more
Give
thing.
him to me. I can care
Jacob,
less.
you got Daredevil back.
yeah, I know we all did. You know,
So
that's
start saving up for that Marvel hot toy that's probably going to eventually come out.
yeah. Did they never released a Daredevil hot toy? I don't think they
I don't
did,
think
huh?
so.
But that suit with the black on it is so fire. I hope they keep that suit design. To be honest,
This one?
yeah.
This is my favorite one.
I love that dude who made his suits. Whatever happened to him? Did he die?
He's
I
still
think he
there.
died,
No.
right?
No, he was still there.
Oh, he's
Oh.
still there. Yeah,
Oh, no.
there you go.
He's a bad guy in Daredevil's world.
Oh, really?
Well,
Oh.
they made him kind of an ally. So
Yeah, he was like a bad guy at first.
I
right?
thought he was a really cool ally. So his name,
I
I think his name is Preston.
I don't know. You're the one that's watching the show.
We haven't
I
seen
need
him.
to
We haven't
rewatch
seen him
it.
for a little while because he made the suit and that was it. So
I
last time he
definitely.
made the suit, the last time we saw him is when he had to remake Daredevil's mask because the Punisher shot him in the forehead. So
Jacob, there's this chance in
10
days,
9
10 days that you will see him on the screen.
That would be pretty incredible. That
so
even
excited.
just for a minute.
Melvin, thank you, Dom.
Even just for a
Melvin,
minute.
thank you. Look at you, Dom. Look at you. Dom, you coming to Spider-Man with us? I got a ticket.
All righty. Well, that should do it for this episode of Apocaflix Now. We're just a bunch of nerds here talking about what we would love to see, but it's all based on Charlie Cox officially coming back as Daredevil at some point, says Kevin Feige. So we'll see. Before we head out of here, I'll go ahead and let the guys let you know where you can find them online, other stuff they got going on YouTube and elsewhere. Brian, I'll start with you.
A certain point of view, if you like the Schmodown or movie trivia, even though we're kind of in the off season, we'll still be doing some stuff. Especially because Spectacular just happened. That's yours, not mine.
There we go. That one.
Jake's like, hurry up, get to me.
Too busy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
Mobby.
Yeah. If you're into any of that, head on over there. And I'm on Twitter, Biavalcino, if you want to see my hot takes there.
Yeah. One day Brian will have his own show. We'll show the thumbnail and
Every time I get a show, it gets pulled like within a
just
couple
talk
months.
crap about everything the whole time.
So, yeah.
Jake Berlin, where can they find you online, man?
At Qui-Gon Jake, 2 N's. Someone else took it before I did. POV, we'll be doing plenty of stuff over there, including our Patreon stuff, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then the Whiskey Jedi. I don't know if I'll be able to have an episode out this week. I'm trying, kind of catching back into work this week. But I'm trying to get it done this week just because Spider-Man No Way Home is next week. And thanks to Andy, to One Hobbit F Andy, I have a brand new whiskey to try, which I'm very, very excited about. It's an Australian whiskey, which is super.
Did you try it yet or no?
I have not opened it yet.
Oh, baby.
So I'll be able to review that on there and talk some cool old stuff over there. So yeah.
Yes. And you can find me on Twitter at Jacob Bartley 824. And if you want to find some other stuff that I got going on YouTube, I do a fantasy football podcast called First Round Fantasy. It's getting to that time. It's playoff time. If you need some lineup advice, come check us out. And I
won
also,
this week, so check him out.
There you go. Did you make the playoffs, Brian? You don't know
Probably.
yet? All
Playoffs don't start till next week.
Literally,
next
I make the playoffs if I beat the number 1 seed this week.
There you go. Come on. You got it. You got it. Also, you can check out Bartley and Barnes YouTube channel I have with Keith here. Currently, I am doing reviews of Dexter New Blood on that YouTube channel, but we are planning our next episode of Bartley and Barnes, going to talk some stuff we've been watching. So come check us out there. And of course, you can find us all here at Apocaflix Movies every Tuesday at 7 prime time. We will be talking movies here. I was gonna say PST, but I like
how you turned PT into prime time.
I thought it was gonna be PM.
I was gonna say Pacific time. Sorry, it is prime time.
Just stick with prime time, man. Stick with prime time.
Yeah, stick to prime time. And don't forget to check out all our social media at Apocaflix Movies. We'll see you guys next time.
What a sudden end.